Assalamu alaikum everybody. In today's video I'm going to be reacting to the rise and fall of the Islamic Medieval Empire. So let's check it out and see what's up.
In the 7th century CE, one man started a chain of events that would change the world order for good. The Prophet Muhammad united the people of the Arabian Peninsula through the formation of Islam. These people included both nomadic Bedouin tribes and the inhabitants of oasis cities like Mecca and Medina. Until Muhammad's time, the region hadn't been considered a serious match for the powerful neighboring Persian and Byzantine empires. But the alliance Muhammad formed was political as well as religious, an empire with Medina as its political heart and a force to be reckoned with. Muhammad was a one-of-a-kind leader. He had been a member of the Quraysh, the tribe that controlled Mecca. After Muhammad's death, those close to him deliberated who should succeed him, a contentious question. Abu Bakr, Muhammad's father-in-law, emerged victorious and became the new caliph, or successor. Over the next 30 years, 4 caliphs, all from Muhammad's tribe, conquered vast areas beyond Arabia, including their mighty neighbors, the Persians and the Byzantines. But as the empire expanded, dissent within it grew, and a civil war erupted. The 4th caliph, Ali, was assassinated. Afterwards, the Umayyad dynasty came to power. The Umayyads were from the same tribe as Muhammad, but from a different rival clan. They extended the empire's reach from present-day Spain to India and made Damascus their capital. But an empire this vast, full of many different peoples, was at risk of conflict and fracture. The Umayyads stabilized it by replacing the ruling elite in conquered territories with Muslim officials, while largely allowing the day-to-day customs of local populations, including their religious preferences, to continue. Arabic was used as the administrative language, unifying political affairs across the empire.
I always had this question when Islam was spreading, let's say, to Central Asia, Uzbekistan, or places where there was no Arabic. How did they teach people Arabic? I mean, from my perspective, it's the hardest language to learn. It's similar to Chinese or Japanese. It's something completely different for, let's say, a European mind or some other people, let's say Uzbek people or whoever. So how did they introduce the Arabic there, and because like the prayer is in Arabic, everything in Islam is in Arabic, but in order to connect to Allah, to understand Tawheed, you need to basically understand Islam in your own language. Like you need to be able to read books about Islam or just have some basic understanding. So I wonder what sort of dawah were these people doing to these new territories that they conquered, and how they actually explained Islam to them so that they could actually say, oh yeah, this makes sense, let's implement this. I guess that's why you have so many then, not variations, but you have different ways of looking at Islam, let's say in Indonesia than in Bosnia or something, I don't know. But yeah, the Arabic is something that's a huge barrier to entry to Islam, but also something which makes Islam so unique compared to any other religion. So yeah, I'm always fascinated by that. But subhanallah, we live in such a lucky age. In today's world, you don't even need the Arabic. You can read the transliteration. There's no translation. Transliteration, I guess, of the Quran, and you get the meanings. You understand. You can read about the life of the Prophet from the authentic sources, and maybe you even have a better understanding of his life than people who lived like 100 years after his death, because there was no, there were no books. People couldn't read. People couldn't understand this much information. So now we have so much information. So on one hand, it's bad because it makes our world kind of fragmented and individualistic. On the other hand, probably I would never become a Muslim if I lived in Slovakia 1,000 years ago, or in the area of Austro-Hungarian Empire. I would never even heard of Islam. So YouTube, Google, all these things, yeah, they're bad, but they're also good in a way that people from backgrounds who are completely weird, like never heard of Islam, are becoming Muslims because of this, because they could understand the concept from in their own language or in English, and then they you know, the Arabic is the next step, but it's so difficult, you know, for us. Anyhow, I mean, I know from all the converts I know, I haven't met a single one who understands Arabic. So
people continued to speak and write local languages too. Still, many in the empire were dissatisfied with Umayyad rule and questioned the dynasty's legitimacy. The Abbasid family capitalized on these sentiments, promoting themselves as more direct descendants of the Prophet, though their actual relation to Muhammad was more tenuous than they claimed. They overthrew the Umayyad Caliphate in 750 CE, becoming the second great dynasty of the Islamic Empire. To establish themselves as the new rulers, they relocated the capital once more, this time building a new city, Baghdad. Under Abbasid rule, the elite enjoyed a lifestyle of luxury, thanks to extensive trade networks that brought both products and people from all over the known world to Baghdad. Byzantine, Persian, Indian, and Arab cultures and knowledge intermingled, leading to artistic and scientific.
Some people say this was the golden age of Islam, the House of Baghdad and all that. But actually, if you look at it from a Muslim perspective, I understand from a non-Muslim perspective, that's great. You have scientific progress, artistry, luxury, you know, you have this dunya, you have so many great things. It's the center of the world. What's wrong? Well, that's a non-Muslim perspective. From a Muslim perspective, those times, they were far away from the deen of Allah. Like back in those days, like surrounded by luxury and all that, this is not what the Prophet taught. This is not how Islam was supposed to be done. And then you saw the fitna, then you saw the Tatars, or who was it, Mongols, who invaded and killed everyone in Baghdad, because this is what you get if you don't follow Islam. You get punishment. I see the same trend nowadays. Some countries want to live this luxurious life and they think this is what Islam is about. I don't know. I mean, I just have my opinions, but I might be wrong about anything. So don't listen to me, guys. I'm just a revert. So you shouldn't listen to reverts at all, please. Don't even listen to them. Listen to someone who's more qualified, because we don't have the context of understanding what's going on. I'm just sharing my own views. That's it.
Advancement. The caliph was wealthy and powerful beyond imagination. But there was never a clear line of succession dictating who would become the next caliph. Any male relative of the former caliph was eligible, so brothers, nephews, and uncles fought to gain power. Within the court, army officers, wives, concubines, and government officials all demanded their share of the treasury. Because the caliph depended on his entourage to stay in power, each transition of rulership opened the doors for favoritism and corruption. Outside the court, many questioned the legitimacy of the caliph, noting that the caliph's religious duty to moral excellence was at odds with the court's decadent displays of wealth. In 1258 CE, the Mongols approached Baghdad. They encountered little resistance as they thoroughly destroyed the city. Legend has it that they rolled the caliph in a rug and had horses trample him to death, and that the Tigris River ran black from the ink of the manuscripts that were thrown into it.
Subhanallah, you see what happens if you prefer the life of this world? Hayat ad-dunya.
The siege of Baghdad laid bare a long-standing reality. For centuries, the caliphs had ruled mostly symbolically. Local leaders throughout the empire had grown more powerful, and they refused to pay taxes, spending the money on their own courts instead. The time of one united Islamic empire was over, but its influence, through written and spoken Arabic, Islam, and the ideas of its greatest intellectuals, left a lasting mark on the world.
Alright, well, that was a nice video, but I think it was quite short and it didn't really go in depth into the reason why it fell, because I really didn't understand why it fell. It kind of skipped a couple of hundreds of years. So in today's world, Muslims are struggling, and the countries which could be kind of the leading Muslim nations are also struggling with different things, and it has to do with history. And I think it goes back to, I mean, yeah, the Ottomans, they did what they did, but subhanallah, if the this is speculation and we shouldn't do this. So okay, this, I don't know if it's haram, but imagine because of the Ottomans joining World War I and Germany, and them losing, so I don't know, millions of people died in Turkey and Ottoman Empire. and them losing to the Allied powers, that's what created the fall of Ottoman Empire and the Sykes-Picot Agreement and all those countries, which now we see the results of this. Now there's still civil wars, conflicts, terrorism, all that present because of Ottomans deciding to join World War I. And I know they were put in the corner and probably didn't have much choice, but still, if the Ottomans chose the other side, the Allies, the empire would still be here. And it wouldn't fall apart. It wouldn't like have this genocidal effect. But they decided to do this, and you see the ripple effect. 100 years after, it's still there. Like, it's horrible what's happening. And it's never going to change because these countries are put in place and there are borders. And yeah, it's hard to change this. You usually change the borders of regions in sort of massive restructuring deals after huge wars, and this doesn't happen. There are local wars in the Middle East, but they are not like world war, which would change the map of the Middle East. So I can't imagine how this could be solved, but this is politics. Let's not debate this in this channel. We talk about Islam, and that's something you can do even if you're in Antarctica or even if you live in Mecca or anywhere else. I have a new son. I have so much stuff that I'm doing with my company as well, so it's impossible for me to create some sort of, well produced content, which I like to do, and I have a plan to really produce some sort of amazing content, but it's just, subhanallah, I have excuse. I have a son, so and there's so much going on, so I'm sorry for that. Also, I'm gonna be releasing inshallah in a couple of weeks probably a huge announcement, and basically leave me a comment below if you think this could be interesting for you, because I had some people email me or message me or whatever, and they said, hey, this is interesting. So essentially, I'm an entrepreneur. I have an agency, a marketing agency, and I also work in software development company and stuff like that. And I've decided to put together sort of a course / platform for people who want to get into that business. It's like a halal business for Muslims, So how do you start with your own, let's say, skill set, freelancing, and then get into, outsourcing yourself from that work and creating a company or an agency so that you can reach, 100K per year or 200K per year. And I've done all of that, so I can show you, and it's like a platform where I discuss all these things. So it gives you like homework assignments, and it's really cool. So just kind of in the middle of preparing this, but I'll be releasing it inshallah in a couple of weeks. So it's gonna be available for people to sign up for, and I just think it's something I can help with, and you guys can let me know if it makes sense or if it's completely useless. But I'm doing this for 6 years, and I've been helping people consult their companies, like hundreds of them already. So I think it can be something I can add value to, and it's not like generic advice. I'm gonna really give you templates, contracts, how to create proposals, how to win deals, and all these things which you can just take and make your own. So it's something that is going to be amazing. So I can't wait to launch this, and it's gonna be like for people who are complete beginners, and then for people who are already running businesses, I'll have like another kind of platform where we do like Zoom calls in groups and stuff like that. Inshallah, maybe it's gonna fail because I don't have much time, but I'm planning to do this, so I'll let you know when it's up there. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this. Assalamu alaikum, and have a great summer. Enjoy this time in the dunya, and then don't forget your purpose, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.